going into the replay. Yeah. All right. So the first one we got here today is, I believe, is a Diamond League match, and we've got here our Red Terran, Cad. Over here, spawning in the blue corner, we've got the Zerg player, Hydra. So this is a replay that was sent in to me by Cad. Basically just begged Discord, like, hey, please send replay. I will do. And Cad has provided. So let's see what's going on here. We got Hydra looking like he's probably, yeah, he's building his Overlord. Double gas trick. As that is an option. You are allowed to do that. Going for the 17 hatch. He's going to build a hatchery eventually, right? Yeah, there he goes. All right. Drone heading on down to the hatchery. Whereas Cat over here, just a standard start. Looks like barracks, gas, probably a Reaper expand. Everything going pretty normal. Always fun though. You gotta wonder, like, I've been asking people like, hey, please send your most unhinged replays. So I'm like, does it start now? What it's like there's a little secret in here somewhere. Something's gonna happen, but we just gotta find out when. But till then, everything just cruising along as normal. Zerg pieces picking along. Is he going for? Is he okay? Yep. Gas pool. We're solid. We're solid. It is funny. I feel like this is the only matchup that anybody likes. Like if you talk to people, it's like, oh man, I hate TVT. Then you talk to Zerg players and they're like, oh, I hate ZVZ. And then you talk to anybody and they're like, I hate Protoss. And so it's kind of wild. And then Protoss is just like, oh, we're actually underpowered and every matchup's unwinnable. So yeah, this is the one though. This is the holy bastion of StarCraft gameplay that people are like, no, this is honor, this is macro, this is mechanics, this is TVZ. And so let's see if this is that's going to be happening here. SCV comes on over, determines yes, in fact, there is a hatchery, and it's almost done. And look at that little drone going on out there, right on time to start mining his little mineral. CC coming up here for Cad, and everything looking pretty normal so far. Cad floating a lot of gas. We'll see if he ends up doing anything. I guess he's microing his Reaper right now instead of building factories. There it is. Wow, beautiful. And a reactor. Okay, yeah. So everything just cruising along as normal. All of the drones. He's just elected to not build any lings, and has just decided to just run all of the drones away from the Reaper. The lings come by, and they're just like, nah, screw this. Bonks himself, and then loses the one drone he could have killed to a spine trick. Good stuff by Hydra, I guess, at the end there. Good save, I should say. Don't let that spine finish, bro. Don't do it. Don't let the spine finish. Go back to mining, please. Okay. Nope. Cat over here checking the third base. Nothing going on. Reaper does get out. Always a good feeling. And don't let the spine finish, dude. Don't do it. You got 21 worker. Come on. Bro, it's just a Reaper. It happens every game. Bro. No. No, my man, it's just a Reaper. It's okay. Just go back to doing what you're normally doing. And oh dear, Lings crashing in here. Ah, the brutality. Yeah. And I mean, CC's lifted. That's good damage. Oh yeah, just a brazen swap there so that we can get this factory on this reactor. And yeah, now Cat's the one who's in a bit of trouble because he wants to land that CC. Like, I mean, Hydra's mining well, but these 6 lings are completely denying Cad the ability to do any mining in his natural. And oh my god, I didn't even look at that, but he lost so many SCVs. There's no way he should have 15 right now. So that is pretty brutal. If we just look over at the harvesters, he's down 7 workers. He actually only lost 2, so he must have lost 2 SCVs. Not actually the worst. Not the worst. Gonna pop this down. The Reaper and these 2 Hellions should be able to clean up this landing zone, no problem. And the coast is cleared. Back over here on Hydra's side, he's got another spine. He really doesn't want to deal with any Cad's nonsense. And he's still mining 21 out of 21 on his main base. Oh, okay, he's fixing it up. We got 4 Hellions and a Reaper coming on over here. Going to see what kind of damage they can get done. Cad, on the other hand, just going for a 1-1-1 so far. And oh no, that's not a 1-1-1. That is a 1-2-1. This is real mech action. All right, so it looks like we're going to see mech play out of CAD, and we do have a roach warren down here for Hydra. Quite a lot of drones too. So looking at it, yeah. So Hydra's definitely up 10 workers so far, which is pretty par for the course for Zerg at this point in the game. You know, mules are strong. So Cad's doing fine. Um, crushing along here. Really wanted that particular node there, and does clean up some lings, but loses his 2 Hellions in the process. And at this point, that is that's not a scary enough army to really do anything. The best he can really hope for is to try and hope to pull some units out, which is happening. Hydra is producing roaches, so we'll see what Tad decides to do about that. He's got a siege tank up here. 3rd CC just finished. So his economy, while a little bit behind in the SVs, does look like it's going to recover perfectly fine. Got a few more Hellions coming on over here, just rallying on across. Siege tanks setting up to defend, which would be great if those roaches decide to get frisky. And yeah, we got the wall of creep here, and some unmined gases. You know, just for fun. You know, those are safety gases. What if he needs them later? You know, he doesn't want to wait. This is a man who plans for the future, for the uncertain future, I should say. Cat here just cranking skeevers, and we got a liberator going across. Always fun. This little pack of Hellions here is just, it can be a real thorn in Zerg's side. I mean, yes, lings can catch it, but the amount of lings you have to create in order to catch and overwhelm that is damage in and of itself. Oh, we're going to go in here, just going to YOLO onto some drones, and it looks like all these Hellions are probably going to get crushed here. Oh, a couple of them do get out, which means they do still get to be annoying. Drops a scan down to ambitiously try and kill a couple of creep tumors out of the trillion or so that are there. And though while all this is happening, this is why I can't play this game. There we go. Oh my god, that Liberator. Hero Liberator. And now all of a sudden, CAD is up on workers, plus having 3 orbitals, meaning that many more mules. And economically, CAD is in a fantastic place now. Hydra here got the 2 Evo chambers, but no upgrades started. A little unfortunate, given that he has plenty of money for it. But you know what? Again, game's hard. I couldn't even find that Liberator, you know? And it's my one job, and I couldn't find that Liberator. You know, he's got more. So we'll let the Evo chamber thing slide. Cat down here, landing his 3rd base. And what do we got? What do we got? Spreading creep tumors. Yep, that's a real Zerg thing to do. And then Cat over here, let's check out what he's actually building. We've got 2 factories and 3 factories now. Going for the 3 factory with the barracks still on add-on duty here, and another starport. So we're gonna go for the 3 factory 2 starport. This is some sort of sky mech kind of play, I imagine, coming here out of CAD. Gonna see it's gonna be a fusion core. Oh, there sure is a fusion core. That's why do you need so many starports? Because battle cruisers take 1,000 years to build. So makes sense. Another CC going down here. And at this point, the supply advantage is definitely back towards Hydra. And he's got a lot of gas banked up. So we'll see what he ends up doing with that. I mean, dropping a Spire or something like that would allow him to easily counter any of that sort of battlecruiser tech. But at the same time, CAD is also researching. Oh, never mind. It's tomato cannon. I was thinking, like, what are you researching on the fusion core? No, of course, it's the tomato sauce. What is a good bit of cheese without the sauce? Coming down here, we just got more of them. They're just going. Road speed on its way, ever important, and Hydras. So that'll at least give him something to do. It's not like he's going to be caught completely pantsless once these big old BC boys decide to teleport across the map. But I don't think he has all that many Hydras yet. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of stuff we end up have going on here. So so nothing but upgrades, and 9 Hydras now in production, so that'll definitely help. Whereas Cat here cranking out Hellbats, always fun, and a whole lot of siege tanks. Just they're dwelling in here with the SCVs. Sometimes, you know, it's like, what if mining were difficult? You know, we can't make it too easy for these little indentured servants. So instead, he's decided to actually siege up the tank in the mineral line. But you know what? Little losses for big gains of safe. We got 2 eBays here, presumably just for fun, seeing as how they're not creating anything. Do we have armories? Surely, CAD, you've built some armories instead of. Did you build 2 eBays and no armories? There they are. There they are. Okay. I gotta have faith in people sometimes. But you know what? I've seen a lot of replays that have kind of pulled me out of that faith. So forgive my transgressions, CAD. But you just gotta wonder sometimes. Going over here, just cleaning up some creep tumors, and both players just trying to macro up here, really. We got a hive now coming out for Hydra, and those are just dead. And for CAD, we have the 2 BCs most of the way done. So we'll see how those end up doing, because this is a lot of stuff. Now, this isn't the kind of army that's going to be able to break all these siege tanks, but it is the kind of army that, if he knew what he was up against right now, could absolutely decimate that base right there. But instead, he is going to move command them up past the tanks and let them just get absolutely demolished by Hellbats. Does take out a Thor, does take out 2 siege tanks, so that's all good damage. Looks like he's going to get this missile turret here. And then he's just going to run right back into siege tank range. Very unfortunate for Hydra. If he had just known that base was there, that would have been carnage. 20 SCVs, easy. And then all of a sudden, he would have been in a fantastic eco position. But at this point, they're pretty much, actually, CAD's a little bit ahead in workers, but plus mules. So while Hydra does have the supply advantage, those are roaches, which is, as you know, kind of fake supply. So nice little run by here with his entire army. But nonetheless, his entire army is a lot better at fighting than SCVs. He's going to need to get these reinforced out of here, because I don't think that this is going to be... See, actually rallying the whole army over there, I think is a little sus. But I mean, it did work out, because that is a lot of SCVs that went down, and it forced CAD to show his hand with the battlecruiser instead of just being able to TP across. He's going to clean up a Hydra, maybe 2 here, but then he's going to have to get these BCs out of here, because this is actually kind of cutting through. No, the Hellbats. Beautiful beasts, Blue Flame Hellbats are. And at this point, now this is looking a lot better for CAD. He did lose a lot of workers there, all the way back down to 62 from 87. That's a 25 worker hit there. So big loss for CAD. And Hydra now just going and trying to hit the other side, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, the natural is a little bit defended, but not particularly. So this gives him some good angles of engagement. This, however, is not necessarily one of those angles, running right by the planetary and into the siege tank. Oh no, mass repair does take out the siege tank, almost takes out the planetary. That is more damage than I was expecting out of those guys. Plus 2 Hydras. As much as people want to poop on Hydras for being awful, which I mean I get, but like, that's a lot of Dippus. That is some damage right there. But over here we have the BCs pop in, vaporize the queen, and that is an entire mineral line out of the way. Not as many losses, but... Oh, and the Hydras, speedy Hydras. I think at least 1 BC is probably going to go down here. Can they make it under? 1 BC does go down. Now, you got to get out of there, CAD. You got to get out of there. Ain't no Warping home, so he's just kind of stuck in the corner. But as long as he's stuck in the corner, so are those Hydras. So not the worst trade. That's a lot of army supply to have to leave there. But nope, he is electing to move it away. So that does give CAD an opportunity to potentially go back and be a pest about things. But speedy Hydras here coming along. They are going to open the front door to this third base, which looks like it could be a bit of a problem. He is up 60 army supply here, is Hydra, with CAD floating 3,000 minerals. Just not enough production to actually get that down right now. Not building any more battlecruisers. Loses the sensor tower, and this is pretty brutal. Oh, but he does decide to go away. Does not feel like trying to crack a planetary with repair right now. Even though I think he might have been able to do it. Then again, I'm notoriously bad at estimating fights, so we'll see. Oh, going for this planetary. And, I mean, it does look like he is going to be shredding this. If he just stutter stepped in, this thing would be dead already. Stutter step. There you go, bud. Alrighty. And that is dead. And now it's the orbital. And, oh, they take 1 tank shot. And he's like, nah, fuck it, I'm out. 25 idling for whatever reason SCVs right there. Maybe he just saw them and he was like, well, they're not mining. They're of no real threat. I don't want to attack the command center and maybe too much, make CAD understand what's going on. And then, oh, the BC comes in. BC goes down. BC about to TP out. And these SCVs still idling. BC gets all the way back in. And we have got ourselves back to a game here. I mean, CAD's still down 50 army supply, but Zerg army supply is notoriously weaker. However, all these SCVs back on repair duty, but this command center is going to go down. He's got 2 other bases to mine out of, but losing all those SCVs definitely hurts. CAD down to 58 SCVs versus Hydra's 82. This is a pretty brutal situation for CAD, and Hydra at this point can really just bleed him out. I mean, he never needs to crack this third. It's just the likelihood of CAD really making a perfect army on this is pretty low, but that's a lot of move command. He right clicks the battle cruiser. Unfortunate move commands right into all these Hellbats, which means that even though he does get a lot of damage there on CAD's expensive units, which, I mean, again, if you're up 30 drones, not a bad call, but the battle cruiser's teleporting back across the map directly into a pack of corruptors that spawns. RIP that battle cruiser. Very, very unfortunate for CAD here. And he is still, I mean, this third base is locked down, but these bases, there's just very little that can really afford to defend him. A couple of siege tanks here, but we do see Hydra going for the trickle things in one by one and let them evaporate on AoE. Not my favorite strategy, but definitely one I've done before. Going for the Corruptors on the Planetary. That is definitely an interesting choice there. We'll see how long it takes this Thor to kill all those Corruptors, but I imagine it's going to be a while. One Thor, while a little bit scary to a Tempest, is a little bit less scary to 13 Corruptors. And it looks like repair is good. That Planetary is going to survive after all. And we've got 2 more factories going down, which I think is going to be great for CAD because he really does need to start cranking some Hellbats or something to get this mineral count down. Armories here are researching their 3-3 right now, which is going to be great. We got the 3rd armory here in for the ship upgrades too. Always a pleasure to see it. And we've got the Corruptor hit squad. Corruptor Ling. Not a combination that I think is great into Mech, but you know, it's what he has, and you know, it's what he has, and that's okay. Just an absolute golem of siege tanks here. This is so many siege boys. It's like at a certain point, though, it's Broodlord time, and siege tanks not great against Broodlords. So let's see what CAD does to switch out of this. He is getting very close to maxing out here. And we've got a few Thors popping, which is fantastic that he was able to predict that and get those out. Thor Hellbat actually quite good against Broodlords. Because the Hellbats are just great at destroying all of the Broodlings, which allows the Thors to actually start trading away with the Broodlords. And so let's see. We pull the siege tanks back. Sieging them up, I'm not super sure about that because now they're just going to friendly fire the Thors. That seems like objectively the wrong call. But it does keep things like roaches at bay. I think I would really like to see those siege tanks unsieged, though, while the Broodlords are over here just causing them. But just nuke the Thor. That was not Broodlings. That was friendly fire. And let's see. Thor seeing if they can get in away from siege tank range. Nope. And another big volley of siege tank fire, just absolutely decimating these Thors. CAD, you really got on siege those bad boys. But we'll see. I mean, siege tanks are cool. Look at that gun. Broodlord's coming back in, seeing how much more friendly fire they can elicit, and sure enough, plenty. So this is the exact kind of opposite of what you want to do against Broodlords. Against Broodlords, you want to do just literally anything other than let all of your siege tanks kill all of your other units. There we go. Pull them all up. Unsieged tanks are still tanks, and you know, a tank by any other name does still shoot as hard, just not quite as well splashy. Oh god, I'm going to hell for that one. Anyway, we've got the 2 Thor 1 Hellbat versus quite a few Broodlords over here. The numbers, I don't love how exactly those are adding up there. I feel like if he had sent a few more Thors over there, could have been a bit more problematic. And now, because we just don't have the Thor number, it's going to be real difficult to clear all these Broodlords. I mean, Thors are fantastic against Broodlords, but Broodlords are still good units. Now, though, the unsieged tanks are there, you see how much longer it takes to actually break those. And CAD at this point, though, is in trouble. He has no reliable anti-air except for this one Thor here, which still shreds the Broodlord if it can get in range. I mean, Thor's fantastic anti-air units, but yeah, it's going to force CAD back. I mean, he's just going to get whittled down by those things. and he just needs to pop some more Thors. He has a lot of tech labs on those factories here right now, though. So as long as there's just production out of CAD, I think he's in a decent spot still. It is down to 68 workers, but we are kind of at the orbital command phase of the economy of a Terran right now, though he doesn't actually have that many orbitals. I think he's only on 3, with the rest pretty much just being planetaries, which are definitely nice, but not exactly great against Broodlords. Great against run-bys, though. Though this is a full-on assault, and goes to try and crack the planetary. Siege tank sieging up. Again, dangerous to the Broodlords, but it is doing so much damage to these Ultras, and there are enough, which I guess is just one Thor in the back line to keep those Broodlords away, but they are down to just one Broodlord left, whereas CAD is starting to remax on the Thor, and at this point, this is a scary army. Like, this is a lot. It's hard to just outright counter this. I mean, you could try with just 30 Broodlords, but affording 30 Broodlords on 100 minerals and 1,700 gas isn't exactly going to happen. So we've got a lot of Ultra Ling here, which Ultras are good, but, you know, Siege Tanks do plus armor damage. They also do splash damage, which Lings being splashable and Ultras being armored does mean that a critical mass of Siege Tanks can really do a great job gunning that army down before it really gets there. But this is still scary stuff. I mean, those are 3-1 Zerglings. They're tanky versus Marines, but I'm not sure Carapace is exactly the set of our upgrades that you really want to prioritize against a mech player. We've got the backway surround by CAD here, and it looks like this army isn't going anywhere. The tanks siege up. Vikings are going to take out these Corruptors, and the Thor tank is going to absolutely melt those Ultras. A few Lings here do force him to pull the armor there, and Hydra with the WTF. Bro, all of CAD's units are Ultras. Like, how could you... Like, all of these are Ultra... Look at how big these guys are! You sent your 6 beefy boys against CAD's absolute meat armada. This is a freaking Mechageddon here. And he's not even maxed out. I mean, he's getting there, but what do you mean, WTF? How did you expect something different to happen? And he even had a backdoor here. He could have just pissed off, but no, he's determined. He's like, look, I went on to Team Liquid. I went into the unit stats on the game, and it said Ling counter Thor. And I will admit, it does say that, but I will also admit that sometimes shit you read on the internet is wrong, and sometimes, you know, the tooltips that Blizzard put in the game 1,000 years ago are also wrong. Lot of Lings here, which are going to get absolutely evaporated if they try and go anywhere near this siege tank line. Another Ultra going down as he tries to run away. And this is that mech slow roll where you just start leapfrogging the tanks. You know, 1 by 1's a little conservative, but not the worst. Rally in some more Hellions just to make sure to keep those minerals low. Turn them into Hellbats. Make sure that the Lings can't get too good of a surround. And we don't have the Chad Bats anymore, so it's not like, ooh, just out of Siege Tank range, but as soon as he pulls back even a second, you just watch everything there incinerate. I don't think that move commanding for quite that long was necessary. I think he definitely could have done a little bit of stutter stepping there, but Thors are also an awkward unit to stutter step just because of how slowly they turn around with their ground attacks, so I could see wanting to just get him back into Siege Tank range as soon as possible. Fucking A-move, lol! Love to see it. Hydra here going with the, well, I don't appear to be winning this game, despite the fact that I had an unlimited number of opportunities to win this game. I mean, I think back to the time where he could have just taken out that third base a full minute earlier with his Hydra army. And then, of course, against the army to which he replies, oh, fucking A-move, proceeds to A-move his army into it, and really does do a good job, actually. Almost gets them all down, but then decides to go back to prioritizing BM over macro, despite the fact that he is, I mean, he's still up in workers. Yes, his army supply is difficult. It is hard to beat this army, but this is a low HP set of Thors. Like, these are kind of ghost supply at this point. 30 HP Thor, it's not a real Thor, right? So, actually, he's not that far behind his Hydra, but the problem is he's got 4,000 gas and keeps thinking, you know what I need? Ling. And then he can't spend it fast enough. Takes down 3 Thors. with just a handful of lings, and out of the game is Hydra. I mean, that is a difficult composition to deal with. But at that point, I mean, he was around a production with 4,000 gas, 3/3 upgrades. Zerg can make a scary army very fast with 4,000 gas. That's usually one of the big limiting factors, especially late in the game. So, unfortunately though, sometimes the brain do a break. And I mean, Thors are big, they're scary, and I don't know exactly what the A move comments are about. Sometimes though, I think the problem when people say like, "Oh, fucking A move race," especially is like, mind you, this is a guy who's playing like Roach Hydra, which is the most A move Zerg composition, into Ultra Ling, which is also like, what do you do with Ultra Ling? You select your army. You select a location on the map, you press A, and you click. That's how you fight with Ultralisk, right? This is not like, I mean, at least the Mech army, you have to siege your tanks, right? You have to siege your liberators. But the siege tank being an A move unit, which, I mean, if you ask the salty lords of the Terran of the ladder in general, they'll tell you the siege tank's an A move unit. I mean, I've definitely seen plenty of games where somebody's like, "Oh, fucking A move," and what is it? It's a bunch of siege tanks, right? But like some of these last engagements, so I mean, it's literally A move versus A move, but like, I mean, what I think the big problem is that Hydra wanted to just A move CAD, but he couldn't because there were sieged tanks, right? Which is, again, mind you, not how attack moving works. See, look at this F2. Look at this F2. Which, nope, nothing wrong with F2. I love F2. It's a fantastic hotkey. But like, we're just going for it, right? We're going in. He's like, yeah, attack and move, right? That's what we're doing here. Which, mind you, is great. I don't know what's going on with these ultras right now, but it didn't work because CAD had a unit that you don't A move, right? And so it's I feel like the major complaint when it's like, "Oh, you're a fucking A move race," is somebody wanted to A move you, they failed, and then lost the game, and it's impossible to assume that the opponent is doing anything other than what they're doing. And so they're like, "Oh, your race is just better at A moving than mine." Which I just love watching these ultras. They're just fantastic. But anyway, GG guys, well played, and yeah, see you next time.